So I know I am a little late with this update, but because I keep the car up here in St. Augustine, about an hour and a half away from Orlando, where I currently go to work and school, I'm not able to work on the 240, FRS, or any of the cars except on weekends. And I spent all of yesterday and the day before getting the LS S13 up and running and all good. A lot of you were saying that it was the fact that the wiring, especially on that ground, is so small. I believe it's 4 gauge, and then also 4 gauge running all the way to the starter. And yes, as that is an issue, and I do plan on addressing that with this new 0 gauge wire that I had got off Amazon, the root of the issue lied within the fact that the starter that I had initially bought was just the wrong size. Now this is a starter from an F-body Camaro. With the LS one in this car, it's from an 04 GTO. And those starters are slightly smaller. And I wish I would have done the comparison, but the opening here on the housing on the F-body is a lot larger than it is on the 04 GTO starter. On here, you can see that the Bendix gear that is supposed to come out and attach to the flywheel to get the car to crank over has a pretty decent spacing on the shaft. But the one on the actual GTO starter is a lot smaller and there's not that much spacing. On this starter, you had to hand crank the engine just ever so slightly, and then the Bendix would somehow make contact with the flywheel to get it to crank over. But now it is for sure fixed. Let's see here. Got my kill switch, put that on, key and ignition. And she starts right up. Now, a couple of current issues that I am dealing with. This AFR gauge isn't reading right because it's not getting the correct amount of voltage. So I need to chase the wiring on that to make sure that it's all good. So that should be a relatively easy fix. And also, hold on one second, let me turn off the car. If you were here, you would smell just how rich the car is running. Like, it's almost making my eyes want to water. It's that bad. Oh God, let me, oh jeez. There we go. So that's another thing I want to address, is the tune. I am going to try to tune the car and not blow it up. Yeah, I don't know. Now don't worry, I'm not going to be jumping in, tuning it completely on my own. Sean, the guy that went with me to Iowa to look at the car, has a good friend that's really knowledgeable on HP tuners, which is like a software that is used to tune GMs, Fords, and Dodge V8s, I think? I'm not 100% sure. And inside here, I have actually picked up HP tuners. I have the module right here with the OBD2 connection point, all tied into a cheap Amazon laptop. Now I know you're thinking that I'm really crazy for wanting to tune my own car. You know, why not leave that to the professionals? But I really want to learn. Tuning is one of those things that, you know, once you get it, I'm not saying you can tune any car, because obviously software in between vehicles is different. But you know, it's just one of those things. If I'm out at a track and I want to make some minor adjustments to the tune, you know, to compensate for how hot it is outside, or humidity levels, or any of that crap, I want to be able to do it. And let's face it, when you're up at that level of competing, you almost have to squeeze every little ounce of power out of your car. And that is exactly my intention. Oh, and a point of clarification. If you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen that I posted a video of a police officer at my house. And a lot of you sent me messages wondering what exactly happened. And with a couple of you, I replied saying that I got caught street drifting, but no, that's not the case. Because this car is from Iowa, and in Florida, you're required by law to have your VIN verified whenever you have a car from out of state. A police officer stopped by so he could verify the VIN of the car so that I can get it registered. So yes, this thing is street legal. Quotation marks around legal. Because I'm pretty sure in Florida, you're not allowed to have like roll cages on street cars or any of that. But hey, who cares? I dailied the FRS a bunch with the roll cage. I'm sure it just takes the right officer in the right attitude to screw you over. Which brings me to my next point. What is going to happen to the FRS? Well, obviously, since a lot of my money is going to be going into the 240 to set it up for the Pro-Am, the FRS will kind of not disappear, but not be driven as much. Granted, I still plan on taking it to a bunch of drift events, but I think the main point that I would love to do is to strip off the front end and fix the issue that I have with bumper alignment ever since I hit the wall. I'm sure a lot of you guys remember that. Because I didn't have these Rocket Bunny fenders on and the wheels poked out so much, I went up, came back down, and the wheels buckled the fenders. And that's why I have the Rocket Bunny fenders on, for those of you that are wondering. But also, because of that, it also pushed up a bracket that holds on like the headlight assembly and the front bumper, which is why my bumper does not 100% align, which in all honesty does kind of annoy me, because from a distance, you know, you can't really tell, but when you get up close, just look at that. Look at how off that is. So I'd love to fix that. And who knows, maybe I'll pull the motor, build it up, boost it. But the main reason why I got this S13 was to avoid all of the issues that I know I would run to in LS swapping the FRS. I mean, I definitely know my way around cars and how to work on them, but with having to manage being full-time in school in between now and next spring's Pro-Am, I really don't think that I'm going to have all of the time and energy to completely swap the FRS, especially given that I have to drive all the way home on the weekends just to be able to work on it. It just does not make sense. But yeah, for those of you that are worrying that I'm gonna sell the FRS, no. That is like the staple of my YouTube channel, and there's no way I'm gonna let this thing go. Maybe now that I have an LS in this car, maybe one day in the distant future, the FRS can get its 2J. But just for now, buying this thing just made the most sense. Oh, and let's not forget about my red S14. This is going to be my daily for the fall and spring semesters of school. All that I really need to do to it to get it completely done is a brake job, which I'm probably just gonna go 5 lug once I do the brakes. Why not? New wheels and tires, because obviously these 15-inch 4 lugs aren't gonna work on a 5 lug setup. And in all honesty, I do miss driving this car. Now, I do wish I could cover more about the S13 in this video. Looking at the time, I have somewhere to be. I'm meeting up with someone to grab something for one of the cars, and I need to get on the road or else I'm not gonna be able to make it. And I hate doing this to you. This is the, what, 3rd video on the car where I pretty much haven't given you guys the walk around, but it will be coming soon. Soon in the sense that I'm gonna have to wait until next weekend to film it. But you guys get it, and I'm sorry about that. What do we have here? A 240. Let's tell him to drift it. Drift it! He didn't hear me. Drift it, you won't! I mean, the roads are wet, he might as well drift it, right? Oh, man. What a disappointment. So I don't know if you could tell what is exactly behind me. I met up with someone to pick up some more SBC RPF ones. Got one right here and then the other 3 in the back. They are by far my favorite wheel, and because the S13 already has a set, I wanted to pick up another set that I could put on my S14, as well as to steal from the S14 whenever it's time for a drift event. So I am pretty much all set. Maybe I'll get another pair or 2, I don't know. But yes, I am definitely the RPF1 fanatic. Actually, only if they're in SBC. Like, the color is just so pretty to me. Anyways, I am back in Orlando now, and to make matters worse, well, not worse, but more difficult, last week I moved out of my apartment and into this house with a bunch of my friends. Now, if you've been on the channel for a while, you would know that I've kept my FRS here for quite a while, back when I first got its roll cage and all that. And since my lease was up, I figured I might as well move in with all the guys. And that's exactly what I did. All right, well, I've been spending the rest of the night moving in to my new place. So this is where the video is gonna end. But on one last note, my now current roommates have a different E36 and E46. So hopefully we'll be seeing these things out drifting. So thank you guys for watching. Again, thank you for bearing with me with how I really haven't given you much of the new 240, but that'll come in due time. And like I said, I just was really focusing on getting it running. So I need to get to bed. I gotta get up early for work. I hope you guys have an awesome day, and I'll see you next time. Peace.